Chad is with us. Chad is in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Hi, Chad. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dave. I'm a longtime listener of yours, so it's an honor to talk to you.
You too, sir. What's up?
So we have 9 full-time employees, most of which are in their 20s or early 30s. So most of them either have small children or are planning to start families soon. We have one employee who's been with us almost the whole time we've been in business, but has just missed countless days with either the child being sick or her caregivers being sick. We have kids ourselves. We understand that, and we are always accommodating to her needing to be out. But it puts a big strain on our other employees because we're taking the same amount of work and just splitting it amongst the rest of the employees. And there are periods where she doesn't even make enough to meet the full-time requirements for the benefits that we're paying. So my question is twofold. We want to be bosses that are empathetic and accommodating, and we want to promote families. Our family is very important to us. So my question is, one, what is your advice on finding the balance between being that accommodating, empathetic boss while having enough to run a business that relies very heavily on these employees day to day? And the second part is, when it comes time for raises or bonuses, would you recommend it's based off of hours worked? And does that seem like a fair system to reward the people that are there working harder to make up for this?
Okay. Second question first, because it's easier. No, raises are just merit-based. They're not based on anything else. And so that can be hours worked. That would enter into it. But I mean, you have people that work the same number of hours and don't get anything done.
True.
Comparatively. I mean, if one gal works 40 hours and brings the company $1 million, and one works 40 hours and brings the company 100,000, then it's not hours worked then, right? So it is merit based, and that is what you're doing, cost saving or revenue producing that justifies your existence, and it's pretty stinking incredible. The second thing we look at on raises is we want to be at least at market. We do comp studies all the time of different categories and say, okay, in Nashville or in Tennessee or in the Southeast, what does this programmer make? A Dev 1 or a Dev 2, or a software engineer, or platform architect. What do they make? And we're studying that and going, okay, I'm really not trying to compete with Seattle. That's right. It might get somebody from Seattle, but I'm trying to say in Middle Tennessee, what is the market for this? We might look at the national numbers, but because actually on software people, we do bring them in from all over. But what does the typical person in this category make? So that's the minimum we want to be at. We want to be, competitive there. But then if I've got someone that is like the best of the best of the best in that, then yeah, we're going to be merit-based races. Now, back to the other question. So the person you mentioned is a lady, I think, that her child is ill. Is there a chronic situation? Or the kid's just getting a cold at daycare, or what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's a general run-of-the-mill, respiratory or GI issues. No chronic illnesses have been diagnosed, but it just seems like there's a lot more than you would expect.
Okay, I mean, do you suspect something else is? I mean, because again, okay, two or three things of how we achieve the balance. All right. Number one, how would I want to be treated, or how would I want my daughter treated if this was my daughter and her my grandson? Okay. Mm-hmm. And this was going on. How would I want them treated? Okay. Now, we're a hardworking family, the Ramseys. And so if the kid's getting ill and, they constantly are getting ill, then, what do we got? A daycare that's a germ factory? We need to change daycares. What's going on? I mean, we got at the bottom of this just because you don't want the kid ill all the time. Why is the kid ill all the time? There's something wrong. And so I'd want to get, treat other people like you want to be treated. So I just switch shoes. I say, gosh, if that was my daughter, my son, and they were working somewhere and they got cancer, how would you want them to be treated? Okay. That's the first thing we look at. And that also means that we could get involved and go, what the flip's going on here? We don't have to just stand back and accept all this stuff. I mean, we can go, hey, That's not okay. I'm not, because I wouldn't expect an employer to just go forever on a whim, not on facts and without investigating and sourcing the actual problem and fixing it. Okay. So the second thing is then the question we always ask ourselves, okay, when I'm 89, 99 years old and I'm on my deathbed, what will I be proud that I did?
Right.
And that always leads us to the third thing, and that is, when in doubt, I overdo grace.
Okay.
I go too long, because I'd rather make mistakes going too long than too short. And our team knows that, so sometimes they're looking around going, hey, this duber doesn't work much. But Chad, he always gives them every chance. He's not a pushover. He's not he's not he's not he's not a guy who's going to be taken advantage of, but he's very kind and graceful and strong, and he's always going to give you every chance. So if this ever comes up, so the other employees here's what's running through their mind, whether they say it or not. If this ever comes up with me, he's going to treat me that way. Because really, you're telegraphing to the rest of the team how you're going to treat them if they get in a pinch.
Right. I hope they're mature enough to interpret it like that.
They can't help it. They can't keep from it. They just, unless they're just, really infantile, because they have to be watching, and they go, that's how that company takes care of that. And so I can assume that they're probably going to do that with me. I can't be 100% sure, but I can assume they're probably going to do that with me. Where if the first time something comes up, you're just chop, chop, and they're gone, then they go, well, first time I screw up, it's going to be chop, chop, I'm gone. And it's harder to keep people then, because they're not going to be loyal, because they don't see loyalty from you. So corporate America always talks about, why aren't employees loyal? Well, it's simple, because you dubers aren't loyal to your employees. And Chad is loyal to his employee. He's walking with this lady while she's going through with a sick kid. And so he's extending loyalty. Well, what you will get back is increased, not perfect, but increased loyalty from her and from the team as well.
Okay.
And so we've got a lady on our team who, it's almost 20 years ago, had a toddler that got cancer. And we just shut down her job and sent her home and paid her and took care of her job. Oh, and a bunch of people got together and kept her yard cut, and a bunch of people got together and kept meals on their table while they went through the chemo with a toddler. And for a little while then, we were real happy when there was a little bald-headed kid running around the office that lived. And we were all celebrating and jumping up and down because we had participated in the whole process with them. And it wasn't that long ago that toddler was 16 years old and walked into my office and, made me cry because she still works here. And so that's when you know you did it right. But then there's other times you treat people right, and then 20 seconds later they're going, oh, well, they're paying me more matching on the 401k, and so I have no memory of you being different, and so I'm out of here. And you get it's not always returned one for one. So, but you do have those cases where you go, and I can tell you this, if you want to talk bad about Dave Ramsey, don't do it in front of that girl's mom. Because she will take you out and they'll never find the body. I mean, it's like, she is not, because you talk about loyal, but we were loyal to her. So we earned that. And we're a family. We care about each other. So that's what you're going to do. And, the other thing you could do is if you can I think what would help here was with some good communication from the lady. You need to find out more about what's going on and how you can help. And then you need to ask her permission to share that with her coworkers and say, hey, listen, so-and-so is out, and here's what's going on with her kid. And she said I could tell you because, we're all having to pick up her slack right now, but it's not because we're weak, and it's not because she's taking advantage of us and she just doesn't want to work. It's because this is what's going on. And the coworkers then will go, yeah, I'm in, I'll help. Because it's temporary, there's going to be an end to it. It can't be something we're doing forever and ever. But yeah, you just gotta take care of people when they're down. You don't shoot your wounded.
Yeah.
And and then you just sometimes you look up and you go, I've reached the end of this, and I've gone as far as we can go. And you can't always. I mean, you can't. Okay, there's an end of this. Like the end of this thing you're talking about, Chad, is a few more months. Okay, you're not going to do this for 5 years. Okay, so that's not reasonable. So you wouldn't ask someone to do it for you for 5 years. Treat other people like you'd want to be treated. So you're going to do this for a reasonable number of days or months that, according to your particular situation, and you're going to have good, clear communication with the team and with the team member that's in there so they know what's going on. And so it doesn't sneak up on them where you go, okay, today's the last day. No, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to say, okay, hon, look, we've been going with this for 7 months now. We got about 60 more days to turn this around, or we're going to have to make other arrangements. And so I'm trying to walk with you. I love you. I love the baby. We're trying to help you, but we've really reached about as far as we can go on this. And just good, clear communication. Don't sneak up on people, and then that way you're not. But even then, you're like at that. By the time you say 30 more days or 90 more days, you're already emotionally at the end of your rope. So you're already going that mile plus another mile. And you won't ever regret that 10 years later. The only part of it you'll regret is when that person leaves and says something nasty about you after you did something good for them. That's the only part of it you'll regret, and that will happen too. That will happen too. It's part of it. It's just part of leadership. It sucks, but it's part of it. So but that doesn't mean just because somebody makes fun of you when you dance doesn't mean you quit dancing. Dance, baby. Dance. That's what, bring it. Just let's have some fun here. Let's do this.